Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're doing something a little different. We're not going to get into all of the discussion about tonight's show until a little bit later. We're just going right for it. Really excited about this evening's show. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I give you Alicia Witt.
Hmm. There's a fine line between delusion and dreaming. I probably crossed from the get-go. Frost prophets and queens, I begged them to see me. Just have to get out more. You said so. There's a reason why I felt this way back then. The night I thought I'd rather die than have this end. I'd jump ahead and you'd fall behind. I need you in the floodlights evergreen. It's a place beyond this where we got to kiss outside the minutes of the piano keys. And for all time and space the frame would freeze. She's beautiful and strange. I really like your latest craze. Somehow they've always stayed the same age. I would have been too early if I hadn't been too late. 'Cause who am I to think on your stage? You say I love you once again from your passenger side, and part of me takes off with you into the night. I jump ahead and you'd fall behind. I need you in the floodlights evergreen. It's a place beyond this we got to kiss outside the minutes of the piano keys. And for all time and space the frame would freeze. I'd jump ahead and you'd fall behind. I need you in the floodlights evergreen. Some place beyond this we got to kiss outside the minutes of the piano keys. And for all time and space the frame would freeze. Yeah, for all time and space the frame would freeze.
Wow, I'm speechless, but I got to carry on. I got to say, tonight we're once again extraordinarily honored to host our guest. She is extraordinarily talented and beautiful on so many fronts. If any question to that tonight will completely resolve that question, many of you already know the answer to. And she's been acting since her debut in David Lynch's Dune at age 7. She spent 4 decades in front of the camera, most recently in that wonderful 2024 smash hit Longlegs opposite Nicolas Cage. Her 100 plus credits, including films such as 2 Weeks Notice, Mr. Holland's Opus, 88 Minutes opposite Al Pacino, and that teen horror classic Urban Legend. And let's not forget Last Holiday, just to name a few. So many TV works, too many to mention, but I'll name a few: Orange is the New Black, The Sopranos, Sybil, Ally McBeal, Law and Order, Criminal Intent. She's a classically trained pianist, and Alicia has been releasing her own original music since 2009, which is mind-blowing to me. And she's played all around the world, including the legendary Grand Ole Opry in Nashville, which is her home base, where she, of course, lives. And tonight, we're celebrating one of her most important works to date, Between Heaven and Earth. It's her 8th album, and I'm certain all of you will agree it's up there with their very best. I'm Steve Harkins, your host for Talk Shop Live. Please welcome to Talk Shop Live. Some say the multifaceted. I prefer to refer to her as a true Renaissance woman, the exquisitely talented Alicia Witt. Alicia, thank you so much for being here this evening.
Thank you, dear Steve. It is such a joy, and I'm honored that you are once again the host and moderator. It's something I always look forward to so much. It's lovely talking to you. Thank you for doing this.
I'm equally, if not more so, honored for you to ask again. So we'll just form a club together and leave it at that. And I just want to ask you, where are we finding you this fine evening, Alicia?
I am at my home in Nashville. Oh, I'm going to turn off my reverb. I always forget to do that. There we go. I'm at my home in Nashville, Tennessee. I've been traveling so much recently, and this year has been probably the least amount of time that I've spent in Nashville since I moved here. So it feels extra good to be home this evening.
Yeah, and we're putting you to work.
Yes.
And I want to remind the fans, if you'd like to ask Alicia a question and you have a comment, use the chat function. We'll get to as many as possible. You know, I've said this to you before. I think it's been a year and a half since we last got together for that wonderful Christmas record. But, you know, you're not just an entertainer providing entertainment, but especially in the somewhat contentious times that we live in, you're providing that magic musical medicine, that one common thread it seems like we have that brings everyone together. That's music and art. And so it's a lot more important than just entertainment. So thank you for what you do. Thank
you very much.
Absolutely.
That is my deepest wish, that is what my music will bring to people, just a sense of not being as alone. And especially when I put out an album into the world, or if I play a live show, the idea that those people in the room may not agree on everything, or very much at all, in fact, but if they're all nodding their heads, or at least having an experience of what that song reminds them of, which is probably different in many of their minds, but at least they've got that in common. And I love that feeling.
You know, before we get into the album, I have to say, you know, your training behind your piano playing, which it was just wonderful to hear you again this evening, do it live. It's well known, but I personally feel it's warranted to call out your vocals, because most of the results we hear today, as I understand it, were solely driven and developed by you. And for some time, I believe you were quite hesitant even to share your voice with the public, which is hard for many to comprehend. But I was wondering if you can kind of walk us through the evolution of you developing your vocals to the point where you at least were brave enough to share it, thankfully, with the public.
Thank you for remembering that. Yeah, I'm a classically trained piano player, and I started playing the piano the same year that I made my first movie, which was age 7. And as a result, piano became a musical expression that felt like another language, like second nature, to where I never got nervous after a few years. I'd get up in front of a crowd of people and I'd think, this is my thing. I'm not worried. Yeah. And in my mind, when I imagined myself as an adult, I imagined that I would be not only playing piano, but also singing. And I knew that I visualized it being my own original songs in front of an audience on a darkened stage. But I didn't know yet that in order to make that dream a reality, I would have to write hundreds and hundreds of songs. And many of those songs would be ones that would never be heard by people. That's
Yep.
how it works, you know. You write and you hone that muscle to where you write more and more songs that do come out the way you intended them to. But I
Right.
got discouraged a lot in the beginning. I guess there's also a weird thing about being a child that's doing things that are deemed to be unusual and advanced. And
Yep.
I thought, well, I'm great at piano. And I would write a song as a teenager and think, oh, that song, I like that. That's okay. And then I'd write the next song and I'd think, ugh, I don't, that's maybe I'm not very good at this.
Yeah.
And then I wouldn't write again for another year or even 2 years. And
Wow.
it was just this kind of, and then the acting career really took off when I was 18 or 19. Things really started hopping there, and it put the vision I had of being a singer-songwriter on hold for a while. And it
Right.
was the night that a long relationship of mine had finally ended, where it felt like it was a good thing. It didn't feel wrong. It felt like a long time coming. And so with Love, we said goodbye, and he walked out the door with the last of his things. And I sat down at the piano and started to write a song about what I was feeling. That song was called Blind, this sense
Yeah.
that he hadn't done anything wrong and neither had I. We just kind of went blind to each other. And I never stopped writing from that point on. That was about 20 years ago. And then I got braver and braver, and also opportunities would present themselves. I'd meet somebody randomly at a party and they'd say, hey, I'm doing a show on Saturday night. Do you want to get up and do a song? And I would feel myself terrified at the thought of
Right.
singing, because it wasn't something I'd done a lot of.
Right.
And the more I did it, the more I thought, I need to do this, even if it scares me.
Yeah.
I realized this is part of what I'm supposed to be doing. And that's kind of how it started. And now I feel like I cannot imagine my life without this form of expression. I love connecting to people through song. It's not about the nervousness or any of that. It doesn't feel like performing even. It feels like connecting and sharing,
Yeah.
telling a story.
Communicating. Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, we're thankful that you kind of crossed that hurdle. And it's interesting to hear you describe that one singular event, you know, where it was mutual in the departing of that relationship, but yeah, an unfortunate set of circumstances, and you turned it into this massive positive. And what I find interesting about you sharing that with us is there are some common threads with that moment and that application for you personally in this album, right? And I think
Yeah.
the interaction that you have with David, which is, you know, why we're here, this album that was inspired by him in so many ways. And maybe we can start at the top as best you can remember, because of course you were only 7, but can you share some of your recollections of the first experience? I mean, of all films, Dune.
I do have many, many, many memories about Dune. I remember it vividly, and I believe that it was an experience in my life where I felt like primarily I was connecting with a person that seemed like a kindred spirit.
Yeah.
It was obviously, I had no knowledge of what he meant, even at that young age for him in 1983. He had already made The Elephant Man and Eraserhead. And the fact that he was directing Dune was considered a big deal. I
Yeah.
didn't know anything. I knew that he was a director, but I didn't know what that meant, really. I just knew I connected with him, and I thought the things about me that seem weird and like I don't fit in with the world or with other kids, I felt like suddenly those things seemed special. And I realized that he shared that, whatever that thing is,
Yeah.
as a human being. And I felt like I'd found part of my destiny when I walked onto the film set for the first time. I had this thought, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life,
Right.
realizing I'd have to be very lucky for that to happen. But I thought, this feels like home. I remember the smell of the soundstage. But that was after I'd already met David and gotten to know him and been cast. First, I had to audition,
Right.
and I felt I had made a really good friend that day. And I
Clearly.
was much more confident than my parents were that I was going to do that movie. I said to them when
Yeah.
we left, I think I'm going to do that movie. And I said to David years later over one of our coffees, I told him that. I think I told him for the first time, and he laughed really big. And he said, I thought you were going to do that movie too.
Most importantly, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
the man who signed, sealed, and delivered it, and what an amazing relationship that you had. I was fortunate enough to read a number of your talking points, on a number of the tracks on this album that are all tied to your relationship, but as difficult as it might be, I wouldn't say it's complicated, it's just wide-ranging, but as best you can in a short period of time, can you try to summarize for people exactly what that relationship was between the two of you? Because it seemed like it ran the spectrum.
I would say simply that he changed my life in every way a life can be changed.
Yeah.
I don't know who I would be if I hadn't met David Lynch, and specifically when I was 7 years old, because I think it was more than the profound changing of my life in terms of the realization that grown-ups could actually even play characters for a living. I certainly didn't know anybody who did that in Worcester, Massachusetts, where I grew up.
Yeah.
And suddenly I realized not only that it was a realistic thing to dream of, but that it was something I could be good at and that I could feel cathartic about. I felt such power at that young age.
Right.
And I credit David with giving me that because he was so singularly wonderful as a human and as a director. If I had had a miserable experience on that movie with some other director, of which I've worked with several who are not pleasant, they don't treat the crew well, they're impatient, or they're just plain stressed out. They might be
Right.
nice, but David had on set this way of letting you know that everything was okay. He was in control. He knew what he wanted. You never heard David say, let me think about what I want there. He came onto set with a plan and a vision, and somehow the assuredness to get the performance he was looking for from each and every actor while making them feel seen and appreciated and special.
Yeah.
And every actor who's ever worked with David would say all they ever want is to give him what he's asking for. And he'll describe it in this non-linear, magical way that somehow makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I think it came from his lifelong connection to transcendental meditation, which I also practice. But there's something more than that, which is it's two other main things. It wasn't just the role at 7. I worked with David 3 other times throughout my life. And each and every time, as fate would have it, that job or that role, that experience turned out to be transformative in my life. As if it came along exactly when I needed it and had no idea that I needed it. Right up to the last time on Twin Peaks: The Return, which directly led to me being cast in Longlegs, as it turned out. Osgood Perkins, the director, never had me audition for the role because of what he saw in the main scene in The Return. And I did get to tell David that in our last conversation a year before he died. I was very glad to do that.
How great. And, what also is terrific, as a public, sometimes I think we have this insatiable appetite to hear the behind the scenes negative stories. We have a special guest, by the way, too.
Me too. This is Ernest Hemingway Witt.
I love that. Hey, Ernest.
You've joined the show.
Look at that. Yeah, in front of a cast of hundreds before you. And so the story that you tell goes against the grain of the perception, although, as you said, sometimes you could be working with some directors who, for lack of a better term, are brutal, not pleasant to work with. And we've heard stories with child actors in particular, not specifically just with directors, but just really bad experiences that they have, or how it evolved into a really challenging life, being a child actor. And here we're talking about someone that you met at age 7 that became not just a friend, but just a lifelong mentor, and somebody that, remained very important to you. And clearly you had to have remained important to him for him to want to spend that time and invest kind of in his spirit and his wisdom. And it seems to me like it sounds like you were fortunate enough that even though he passed away, and we always say it's too soon, we never have enough time with those that we greatly care about, that you don't have to question about how you felt about each other, right? And but you also, it seems, evolved and learned some major lessons with his passing, at least his passing on this earth. And that's part of I think the storyline through some of the songs on this album.
Yeah, well said. That's exactly true. I will say I've lost some close people. I've lost some loved ones, but I have never experienced a connection in spirit form like the one that has happened with David in his passing.
Yeah.
It's been really, without question, the most magical thing that I've experienced. And I find myself feeling like in his passing, I'm even more aware of how profound he was to me, how much I loved him, and how much he loved / loves me, which is,
Right.
I know sounds a little much, but it's true. It's been it's been also such a beautiful thing when the idea was given to me to create an album that was in tribute to him, to speak on what this man meant to me and how much he changed me, not just in terms of my career, but as a person. I mean that so sincerely. I don't know who I would be. I think he immeasurably shaped the very way I see the world and how I relate to people and how I process grief and joy and love, and this sort of insistent optimism that I believe I got from him. It was instilled in me. So I don't know who I would be without him. And what a gift to have not only created this record to pay tribute in some small way to what he's meant to me, and what a beautiful light he is and remains. Also, though, to get to talk about him every day and just share the love that I have and tell everybody how extraordinary he really was. I think of him as a person, not as a filmmaker primarily. I think of him as a family member, because I was so young when I met him.
Yeah, it's clear. And I, like you, have lost some very close to me, sometimes unexpectedly, too soon. And the thing that is pretty clear to me is when we lose them, at least here on Earth, in terms of their presence, their physical presence, that one of the reasons we remain is part of our mission is to carry on that spirit, to carry that torch. And you've done that in spades here with this album, to dedicate an album and to share that. I know you create music. It starts with for yourself first, as it should be, and then you turn it over to the world. But I strongly believe that the messaging and from the lyrics to the music itself, as you use the term cathartic, I think this will also connect with a lot of people for personal experiences that they've had. I don't think this is just a singular experience that you're sharing with people. I think this is actually going to be somewhat therapeutic and helpful for people that are going through a tough time, which makes it even more of an important album.
Thank you so very much.
Yeah, absolutely believe that. And I want to get to, speaking of believing, believe this. You have a whole lot of friends that think the world of you. We've got Kiki Loves here. Thank you for being here. Sol Gamo, thank you as well. Timothy Klein is calling out Coke and a Slice. Not sure if that resonates, but I felt
That's The Sopranos.
there we go. And nicely done, Timothy. Let's see here. Bud's Odyssey Foundation is saying hello, all. You've got Original Foss. Greetings from Vancouver, Canada. As we know, you don't just touch the hearts and souls of those here in the States, but you're truly an international spirit and talent. Bradley Clark is really appreciative of you being here. So is Joe Live Now. And Don is saying greetings from New Jersey. So somebody from the Northeast.
Hey, Don.
And Interloper 115 is appreciative that you're here, stating your music is always so beautiful. I think you've taken it to a whole nother level. Also listening to your vocals, that's why I wanted to single it out. I feel that you took it to a whole nother level, and it's probably partly because of, how passionate you were about the subject matter, what inspired you to do this. We're going to share some more music in a second, but I want to remind everybody that we're celebrating the forthcoming album release from the amazing singer-songwriter and award-winning actor Alicia Witt. And the album is entitled Between Heaven and Earth. It features 13 fantastic new original songs recorded in January in New York City with the acclaimed musician producer Joe Henry, who did a wonderful job as well. The album is inspired, as you've been hearing, about the enduring influence of filmmaker, friend, collaborator, mentor David Lynch. And the album's first single, Thank You, also features somebody who I'm super passionate about, brilliantly talented, is John Paul White, who co-wrote that song with Alicia as well. Even better, it's available on this gorgeous turquoise blue swirl vinyl, and it's also available on CD, and it releases Friday, August 28th. For those of you that don't have a calendar in front of you, that's a week from tomorrow. However, TalkShopLive fans can purchase copies right here, right now. And it's Alicia's way of thanking you, all of you super fans. She has agreed to sign a limited number of copies purchased here. And to order your copies, hit the shop button on TalkShopLive. If you're watching this through Facebook or Instagram, comment shop, and we'll DM you a link right away. And if you happen to be watching on YouTube, click the link in the description. And the rest is quick and easy, but they are limited. And there's no greater way to show how much you appreciate the wonderful artistry of the great Alicia Witt than by owning a copy, physically owning a copy of her upcoming album release, Between Heaven and Earth. And it's signed by her as well. There's some initial tracks I want to talk about, but I wonder if we could kind of morph into you performing another song, how wonderful it is that you're sharing your live musical skills with us. And this is a track entitled Artifacts. And I'll talk about the recording and a little bit of background, get your insights as well. But would you mind playing that song for us?
I'd love to. Thank you.
Outstanding.
Someone told you once you weren't enough. Said it so much, it finally stuck. Everything that makes you beautiful must have dulled their shine. Everything they threw away, thought you had to hide. Slowly excavating artifacts, brushing dirt away and filling cracks. Planting flowers deep within your rich and hallowed ground, where someone's wishing they had found. That's other people's problems now. Someone called you a disappointment, messed up so many times you can't avoid it. You bury your open heart, then apologize. I love unraveling the patterns in your eyes. Slowly excavating artifacts, brushing dirt away and filling cracks. Planting flowers deep within your rich and hallowed ground, someone else did not know how. That's other people's problems now. Someone said my feelings didn't count. I learned to not get hurt by shutting down. And ghosts of love gone by always meant the end. Everything I thought I knew, I have to think again. Slowly excavating artifacts, brushing dirt away and filling cracks. You're planting flowers deep within my rich and hallowed ground, where love could not get in or out. That's other people's problems now.
I didn't want to interrupt the sustain. That was absolutely beautiful. And I just want to get to some of the fans. We'll talk about that in a second. But I had to bring this one up. Carissa Juarez is saying, happy almost birthday, Alicia. Wow, we have the distinction maybe of wishing happy birthday to her before most others.
Thank you, Carissa. Wow.
Awesome.
Yes. I
Joseph
appreciate
C.
that.
Joseph C., thanks for being here. Karen McKinnon is just saying, keep going, don't stop. Your talent connects with so many. Love your music. And Lori Marie is watching from Ohio. Bertie Wright, 90, is watching from England. It's well past midnight. Again, It's about commitment and how you connect with so many fans for sure. You've got Joanne Fleming, who is watching from Nova Scotia, and Andy Drought is also doubling down on that happy early birthday. DC Man is saying, have loved your entire catalog of music and movies. Hope you come to Chicago. You do have a date. The Space, I think it is, if I'm not mistaken.
That's
Chicago.
exactly right. September 26th, I'll be in
Yeah.
Chicago. You
Yeah.
can find all my tour dates at aliciawittmusic.com. And I've got quite a few of them, including some record store dates. I'll be in
Yeah.
Paris and London and all around the
Nashville.
US and Nashville. Oh, yes.
Can't forget Nashville and Grimey's. I love Grimey's,
Tomorrow.
and support your local music stores as well as what we do here on Talk Shop Live. Victor B. Valdez is saying, greeting from Mexico, or shall we say Mexico. Big fan of your work in Longlegs and recently of your music. Victor, you got some catching up to do on the music, but it starts with this new album. So thanks so much for being here. I love this one. Joseph C. wants to know, any unreleased demos that could see the light of day?
Oh, absolutely, Joseph. I have at least 20 songs that are ready to go for whatever the next album should be, and probably a bunch more that aren't written yet. But I do have demos. I have certain demos that I've released over the years as gifts to people on my mailing list and just pop them out there. One thing that I've done over the years at certain times is I've both been part of other writers' writing circles. Yep. Where you have to turn in a song every week, no matter what, no matter how busy you are. And some of the loveliest and most unexpected ideas come to life that way. But I also had my own songwriting circle that I took over for somebody else. And I led that for 1.5 years. It just means you send it in via email. So it forces you to keep writing. And some of those demos turned out, they all had to be good enough to email. So I've actually got quite a stockpile of demos.
It's great news. Being an Alicia Witt fan, we're hearing great breaking news that there's plenty more music, but we're going to savor this body of work. I think first we have a little time to ingest this, and you know, with Artifacts, the song that you just played, just absolutely beautiful song. And a lot of the songs on this album, to me, feel like they're destined to be timeless for a number of reasons. The melody lines, the chord progressions, the vocal approach, but also the message. And this one is a real standout on the latter for sure. It checks all the boxes, but you stated, I believe, there's an importance of releasing ancient lessons that no longer serve, and specifically, and I can relate to it, I know so many others can, the things that we learn as children that hurt us and that we carry with us for whatever reason, whether it's in your subconscious or outwardly in our lives, sometimes beyond that, until we let go. And the most powerful way to let them go starts with identifying those artifacts that you're still holding on to, which is the basis of this song, a pretty powerful lesson and message.
Thank you. That's it. Exactly. And I feel like David Lynch was one of the masters at that.
Yeah.
At being present and understanding that bitterness and rage and jealousy and finger pointing and all of that just makes you smaller and stops you from realizing your full potential as a person. And one of the ways, well, probably the most significant way in which he developed that piece was through transcendental meditation.
Yeah.
And I can relate deeply to how that helps you to just let go of the minutia of what's jumping around your brain at any given moment. And if you have a busy life or stressful situations, it's easy to think that those are the most important things going on, or that that's reality, but actually that isn't. And the artifacts of what happened to you or what your history taught you, it's a beautiful goal to think about letting all of that go. and just
It's
being
a
present.
it's the perfect word, I think, to summarize exactly what you're describing, right? Because if you call it an artifact, it means, okay, it's in the past, let it go, right? Just let it go, don't carry it forward with you, it's a really powerful message for sure. As I said, this is one of many tracks that I think will really speak to people, and again, really applaud you for sharing this whole
Mhm.
album with us and these messages, but also the craftsmanship of the songs, the melody lines, and again, your vocals, I think you've taken it to a whole whole 'nother level, quite frankly, in my opinion. So
Thank
that's
you,
my
Steve.
well, it's true, and it's, also, a good segue into me reminding everybody that we're celebrating the forthcoming release on the 28th of this month, a week from Friday, which is a week from tomorrow if you're watching this live. The album is entitled Between Heaven and Earth. It features 13 amazing new songs from Alicia Witt, and, as I understand, it was recorded in a very short span of time in New York City with the brilliant, Joe Henry partnering, with, Alicia, and again, as you've come to find out, this album is inspired by the enduring influence of the great filmmaker David Lynch, but clearly there's so much more that to the man than just his brilliant filmmaking, and it's revelatory, and I think it's great to be able to have these things, even though we may have lost him in terms of his time physically here on Earth. And also, we have John Paul White, who's on one of the great tracks, the first single, Thank You. It's available on Gorgeous Turquoise Blue Swirl and on CD, and you can order it right here, right now. And equally important, it's an heirloom. It'll be a piece that you'll cherish because not only will you keep going back to the music and the message, but Alicia graciously agreed to sign a limited number of copies. So this will be something that you'll value and pass on probably to family members for some time to come, or friends or loved ones. And hit the shop button on Talk Shop Live on socials, Facebook and Instagram. Comment shop. We'll DM you a link. And on YouTube, click the link in the description. And the rest is quick and easy. And there's no greater way to show how much you truly appreciate Alicia than by owning a body of her work. These are passion projects of hers, and she's pouring out her heart and soul. And this album was very important to her, clearly. So to show how much you care, there's no greater way than by owning this body of work. Streaming serves its purpose, but there's nothing like physical music. And again, that vinyl is incredible for sure. How about we hear another song from you, Miss Witt?
Oh, I'd love to do that.
This is a track that we'll talk about in a second that originally was recorded and written, right, with John Paul White. You're going to do a solo rendition of it, and this
Yeah.
track is entitled "Thank You."
Yes.
Thank you. You love me in your own way. Rear view, I can see it plain as day. Nothing to forgive, nothing that is owed. You've already said all I need to know. It's old news, but thank you. It'd be so easy to frame me, say I should never have fallen for you. You were a chapter I could not skip through. So what else can I do? But thank you for showing me the door that day. Who knew it would send me to a better place. Oh, I never found the life I'm living here. Everything I have, all that I hold dear. Oh, you, so thank you. It'd be so easy to frame me fool, say I should never have fallen for you. You were a chapter I could not skip through. So what else can I do but thank you? Yeah, you were a chapter I could not skip through. So what else can I do but thank you? Gotta thank you.
Absolutely amazing. And at the risk of sounding a little bit cheesy, I'm going to say thank you to some of the fans out there. I just wanted to call them out because they purchased this beautiful, I mean, it's a work of art unto itself, but this turquoise blue swirl vinyl, let alone the music that's on it. And Bob Peterson just purchased a copy. You're going to really appreciate and cherish this one. Again, signed by the great Alicia Witt, also Cynthia Moser and Len Trujillo, Richard Culpepper. Thank you, Kathy Gingrich or Gigrich. Sorry if I got that wrong, Kathy. Faith Hoffman, Leah Krenz, also Brad DeMag, Cindy Knoll, Clarence Owens, Michael Tasker, Michael Baker, Jorge Velasquez, Ira Emsig, also Michael Gottlieb, Bruce Gorlick. I can go on, but I did want to just touch on this beautiful track, again, written by John Paul White. I mean, he, I would say, like you, is probably a bit underappreciated here in America. He has got such a magical voice, and he's an incredible songwriter as well. The two of you combined on this track is absolute magic. And again, the power of the lyric and what's behind it as well just makes this a pretty special song.
Thank you so much. It is an experience like no other to write with John Paul. I hope we get to do it over and over again. This would be our third song that we've written together.
Yeah.
The first one hasn't been recorded yet and needs to be. And the second one was called December 26th, and it's the closing track on my Christmas record that came out a couple of years ago.
Yeah, great track.
When I drove to Alabama, where he lives in Florence, to write with him, we knew that this album was happening. So my hope was that we would end up with a song that would feel like something that belonged on this record. And I had this idea to talk about not only forgiveness. We have lots of songs about forgiveness for something that's happened that broke your heart, but also just pure gratitude.
Yeah.
Because those things that steer you in a different direction are not happening to you, they're happening for you. And if you can see life that way, even when it is brutally hard, doesn't mean everything is going to be good or easy, but it's a better way to look at things for sure. And in retrospect, you can often see that the life you have right now, with all of the things that you do love, wouldn't have happened if not for that brutal event that you would have wished had never happened in the moment.
Again, another powerful message and experience and revelation that you're sharing that I think will resonate with a lot of people that have gone through similar experiences, and I think will really be helpful. So not only is it a great album, and let's just enjoy it in terms of the pure musicality of it, the strength of the songs, and again, power of your voice. Great songs are great songs, period. But again, the message goes pretty deep. And I think it's why I keep saying I think a number of these songs, this one included, will be timeless and last a lifetime. It's really going to connect with people. And yeah, at the risk of making it sound like a pun, but not intended, thankful that the two of you wrote this. I will share with you and move on because I can't believe it. The time's flying by, and I want to just get in one other quick song with you. But there is a track that was written by co-written by John Paul White for the song Nashville, and I hear the two of you sing it together. He never recorded this himself, which to me is almost criminal, but it's a song called No One Will Ever Love You, and I just keep hearing the two of you singing that song. That's your homework assignment. If you haven't heard that song, you need to go back and hear it. The two of you need to lay that track down. I think that would be absolute pure magic, but I'm not going to put you on the spot.
I have heard that song.
Have you heard that one?
Yeah, I have heard it, and I don't think I realized that John Paul wrote it, but it makes perfect sense.
He co-wrote it. Yeah.
Wow.
I met him a few times, and I forced him in a corner to play it acoustically, and I just think the two of you would be magic with it. But speaking of magic, I just want to get in one more song if we can coerce you to do so, and that's a closing track, and that's a song called The Director.
Yes. This one is composed of sentences and advice and insights and little messages that came in, I believe, from David's spirit as I was meditating, since he has passed away. And yeah, this is called The Director.
And I'll add the perfect closing track for a beautiful album.
Thank you. It was recorded at the end of having tracked the other 12 with the band, and I had the sound engineer leave the mics running at lunchtime, and I did it all by myself without listening on headphones. If X, then Y will not apply when riding off into the sunset. You've got enough to last a lifetime. This is what love is, he said. The leading man may have some funny flaws. He laughed and said, I would have cast him. You weren't all in before, but now you are. Go
Chase what makes you happy with all you have and stay till the end, till the lights come up and everybody leaves. Wait till the credits roll. This one will keep you on the edge of your seat. The ending of the dream, the beginning of the wide awake. Fill up your mind with good things and they will come true. I said I miss you, he said I know. You see, that way you lose yourself inside a song. You've got the ticket now, don't let it go, and stay till the end, till the lights come up and everybody leaves. Wait till the credits roll. This one will keep you on the edge of your seat. The ending of the dream, the beginning of the wide awake. The ending of the dream, the beginning of the wide awake.
That was incredibly special. I don't know how much I can add to that. I mean, I think the music and the vocal speaks for itself, and the message, other than to remind all you folks, we're almost out of this beautiful vinyl album. That's a gorgeous turquoise blue swirl that that Alicia has signed, and there's no greater way to show how much you appreciate her than by owning this passion, this work of passion that she's put together. And trust me, the messages will resonate with you. And I think you know that based on our conversation and the performance this evening. And it's available a week from Friday, but you can purchase them right here, right now. Hit the Talk Shop Live shop button. If you're watching on Facebook and Instagram, comment shop. We'll DM you a link. And on YouTube, just click the link in the body of the description. We're going to play another special track as the outro. More. I think that we're going to try to coerce Miss Witt to come back so we can continue the conversation on this great album, because an hour just didn't afford us anywhere near enough time as warranted. And perhaps if you're agreeable, we'll make that happen, Alicia.
That sounds wonderful. I'm honored that you would ask me, and that is an emphatic yes from me. I can't wait to come back and talk some more about this and share some more music.
Outstanding. I'm hopeful we'll be able to do that sometime around Americana Fest. That'll be mid-September. Watch our calendar. And Alicia will share it with you fans too. And we'd like to thank all you fans for being here this evening and for all of your support. Spread the gospel of this great record. Buy copies for your friends and family as well. They will appreciate it. There's no greater gift than the gift of music and art, and the gift of Alicia Witt, particularly this record. Special thanks to Mickey Wyndham at 30 Tigers, also Cheryl Moore and Jiff. Also, I think I got that name wrong. Sorry if I didn't, or Jove, I think it is actually. Sarah and Amy as well. Jake Anderson, our good friend at the Orchard, our fulfillment partners, all media supply that get you the Alicia Witt albums signed and the CDs as well. To Brian, Sandy, Tina, Brad, Joe, Kathy, Marty, Kate, Brendan behind the scenes, Sam is always doing a great job, all
Thank
from
you, Sam.
Talk Shop Live. Thank you, Sam, and most importantly to Alicia Witt for continuing to share your musical gifts with all of us. And pick up this copy again. There's a limited number. It's going to be sold out soon on the Turquoise Blue Swirl. I forewarned you. It's also available on CD. Both are signed. And yeah, having a good authority. This album will enhance everyone's quality of life. She's delivered an absolutely fantastic record. Alicia, can't thank you enough for being here this evening.
Thank you so very much, Steve. I can't thank you enough for hosting, and such a joy to talk to you as always. And thank you to all of you out there watching live. It's been so wonderful to visit with you tonight. And thank you for joining us.
And to be continued.
Yeah.
And with that, don't tune out just yet. We're going to close out with this brilliant track entitled More. Everyone stay safe, love one another. Thanks so much for being here. Great to see you again, Alicia. Thanks so much.
Great to see you, Steve.
So long, everybody.
More truth, more time, more touch, no lines, more you, more mine. More birds.